instructor, his teacher, his practically his mother, if you would. And I think that they're just kind of associate the PTSD that Snake has, and he probably does think of Vogan as like a really scary person, probably has nightmares because of him. But let's continue on. We see Ocelot again. Okay, that's blatantly Psycho Mantis. That's the white, that's the ashes that he puts on his face. Okay, they keep on talking about words, something have to do with words. And they're focusing on Quiet, because Quiet doesn't talk. So it's probably a reference there. Alright, we would pause it right there. Okay, that's Eli, blatantly Eli. And he's jumping right into a Metal Gear. It looks like Metal Gear Rex. And in the next scene, we actually see that it looks like Metal Gear Rex. It's probably a Metal Gear Rex prototype, if anything. And maybe this is kind of like a reference like, hey, look, Eli is Liquid Snake because he's jumping into Metal Gear Rex, just like Liquid Snake did in Metal Gear Solid 1. Alright, so let's continue. And he's, Snake is getting chased by Metal Gear Rex prototype here. Okay, and then we see here Skull kind of looking at Snake. Maybe this is the point where Snake gets captured, or maybe Snake was trying to escape and then he gets captured again or something like that. Skull's here again. We don't really know who he is. We really don't. Alright, Snake is just shooting. And then the symbol there. Towards the end, I'll explain my theory about who Skull might be. Phantom Pain, if you guys are wondering, you see here, Snake has already killed everybody. Phantom Pain is basically when a person loses a limb, they feel like they still have their arm there, and they can feel the pain when they lost their arm. So it's kind of like painful. And right here's the big thing I'm telling you about. I'll go explain a little bit more about Phantom Pain after this. So we see they're looking at Metal Gear something, and then he comes out of nowhere and then disappears. And no one's taking notice of this guy. If Skull really is the antagonist or something, why is Big Boss looking at him? Why is he the only one noticing him? Ocelot doesn't react. I would figure Ocelot and the other people would be looking at him at least, or kind of notice him. But he kind of just appears out of nowhere, and then Snake kind of just turns around, and his back is basically covering up Skull, so we can't see him anymore, indicating that either A, he's really there, or B, he's just a figment of our imagination. So, basically I was trying to explain to you guys the Phantom Pain. The Phantom Pain is basically a reference of people losing a limb, and then they feel like they still have their arm there, and they can still feel the pain in when they're, when they lost it and everything. It hurts. For no reason, it's hurting, even though physically speaking, there's nothing wrong with their amputated arm or hand or leg or whatever. It's just they feel that pain. It's basically a traumatic experience for your body part, if you would, and for your brain itself. And so they're focusing on this Phantom Pain where, Snake loses an arm, and uses a fake hand. Miller loses body parts up the yin yang. I think he's like lost the most, and probably blind as well. Quiet's missing her tongue and everything. There's D-Dog, which is Diamond Dog, which is the wolf, but I think he's missing an eye, but I think they're just doing that to kind of reference like, hey, look, Big Boss is the dog or whatever. Other than that, we haven't really seen any other body parts missing or anything like that, but there's a lot of reference of amputees and Phantom Pain and all this stuff. And then on top of that, a lot of psychological stuff. We see that giant tremors coming out of the ground trying to hit Big Boss while he's driving. We see Vogan in a demonic form. Obviously we see Psycho Mantis, so Psycho Mantis was probably doing some of these hallucinations. We're seeing zombies, people being controlled by zombies, or something like being controlled to be like zombies. I don't know, those ninja soldiers look pretty interesting. And so my theory about Skull is the fact that Skull probably is not a real person, but a figment of the evil side of Big Boss, or the side of Big Boss that still wants to work with Zero, because Zero owns Cypher, and Cypher is practically run by this guy, by Skull. So maybe Big Boss has a double personality. He's living a life of Big Boss, and he's living a life of Skull. So then he probably, maybe when he's trying to do the things like Skull, he dresses up like Skull, puts a mask on, or maybe Big Boss's face was completely burned. Or this is another theory. Maybe that Skull, since his face is all burned up and he knows Big Boss in some shape or form, is the guy that was trying to save Big Boss during the hospital scene, because we don't see his face entirely, we don't see his hands or anything like that as well. We don't see Skull's hands. We see him always wearing a suit. His entire body's covered except his neck and his face and part of his head. So maybe that's the guy that saves Big Boss. Maybe that is Big Boss's psychological other side telling him that, you know, you're always going to be evil no matter what. Your actions are always going to lead you to do horrible things and all this stuff. And on top of that, Big Boss is like, you know, he doesn't know because he was in a coma or something. So there's a lot of theories that, you know, people are making up and theorizing what the actual case is. To be honest, I really don't want to know the truth. And I'm a type of person that doesn't care about spoilers, but I'm a type of person... for this game, I don't want to know the spoilers. I really don't want to read into it any more than you know, what Hideo Kojima presents. And we can see here he has the horn. He's covered in blood. He sees himself in the mirror, and he gets pissed because he sees he's becoming a monster, as he practically looks like a monster. September 1st. Oh, can't wait for it. 3 more months. And then we see Eli, and then we see another Eli. Okay, we'll stop it right there. And the reason why is a lot of people are saying that this is Solid Snake. And then other people are saying, no, it can't be Solid Snake because Solid Snake never knew Liquid until he joined Foxhound. Which can make sense, but... you know, Hideo Kojima is known to have his characters being brainwashed or forget things, and that actually happens. Sometimes people, when they're captured or they're, you know, soldiers or something like that, they intentionally forget their past lives because it's too traumatic for them. But maybe in this case, Solid Snake was basically brainwashed to forget everything that he did as a kid, and we really don't know much about, you know, Solid Snake as a kid or anything like that. We just know that, you know, he was a soldier since he was a kid. Not a soldier since he was a kid, but he was always trained and everything. And when he was young, he went into the military and all this stuff. But we really don't know too much background about Solid Snake's life as a kid. So maybe the possibility this is Solid Snake, and he's doing a mission together with Liquid, and Liquid and Solid Snake are twin brothers. They're supposed to look alike. The only difference is one is blonde and one has black hair. And to be honest, a lot of people like saying like, oh, it can't be Solid Snake because he has blonde hair. Well, first off, you ever heard of hair dye? Like, you can easily get hair dye in a dollar store and use it on your hair to change your hair color. So I don't think hair isn't really a definitive you know, conclusion here saying, oh, that can't be Solid Snake because he has blonde hair. He has to have black hair. If you guys don't know, kids when they're young, they have blonde hair, and then when they get older, they, you know, their hair becomes darker and becomes a brunette or dark brown or whatever. Or in this case, most likely, maybe he just dyed his hair. Also, the fact that he's wearing the same clothes just like Eli is probably an indication that maybe he's a doppelganger, that he's trying to basically trick the enemy to think that there's 2 Elis just in case one Eli gets captured or something like that, and he you know, I don't know, like basically like a decoy, if you would. Maybe Eli is the decoy, or maybe they reverse it sometimes and Solid Snake is the decoy or whatever. But we really don't know. We really don't know if this is actually Solid Snake, if this is an actual physical second person, especially the fact that what I've noticed in this game, there's a lot of psychological things going on here, more of kind of like probably hallucinations occurring. Maybe Big Boss is looking at Eli and he sees like, oh shit, this kid has a double personality. He's good, but he's also bad at the same time. Who knows? Or maybe this is just something, just a thing of just Eli thinking to himself, and Eli has a second personality in his head, and he's talking to that second personality, which is this guy. We don't know yet, all right? Or maybe he's reminiscing of, maybe that second personality is Solid Snake, and he wishes he was with his brother, so that's why he's thinking of this other person that looks exactly like him, which would be like his twin brother. And maybe he never met his twin brother, so that he's imagining his twin brother would be just like him, and maybe that's like the side of Eli that's kind of maybe the one in control of Eli's actions. We don't know. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions here. But that's a pretty good theory. Maybe Solid Snake and Eli never did meet, and Eli created a twin brother in his mind to substitute his real twin brother being separated from him and everything like that. Maybe he did care about his brother in the beginning and then found out that he became a douche and he had the better genes and everything. He got pissed at him, but even though Liquid was actually the perfect gene one, Solid Snake was actually the recessive gene guy. But basically, yeah, that's basically it. And they should have said that they talk about the terrible three children or whatever. And that's basically it. And that's basically the trailer, guys. I hope you enjoyed my analysis. I know this was pretty long, about 30 plus minutes, but I had to do it because this trailer had a lot of information going on, a lot of questions that came up as I watched it and everything. Hell, I even made up new theories as I, watched the actual trailer itself. And, I want to hear your theories about this trailer, your theories about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. Who do you think this new character Venom Snake is? Is this really Big Boss? Is this a doppelganger of Big Boss? Who is Eli really? Is that really Liquid Snake, or are we just made to think that is him? Who's Quiet? What happened to Miller? Is Miller really a bad guy now? Ocelot, what's his agenda and all this stuff, and what's going on during all these scenes? Is that really shrapnel actually growing out of his head or something like that, or just a hallucination or a psychological symbolism of him becoming evil, which obviously it is. But other than that, I want to hear your opinions on this Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain trailer from E3 2015. Just leave a comment in the comment section below telling me your opinions on this trailer itself. And that's it, guys. I'll see you around. This is Palm Primus. Keep it crunchy and peace out. Hey guys, it's Palm Primus here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this one, press the link in the top left corner right there. Otherwise, press the link in the top right corner to take you to a random ass video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Palm Primus 0, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. This is Palm Primus. Keep it crunchy and peace out.